Hello? If I can get everyone's attention just for a moment, we're going to check on the roster over here who signed in, and then we have people online that's with us as well. So just so that you know, things are changing within the tribe drastically, and we have over 7,040 members, and we have people all over the world that's watching. And so today we're going to have some housekeeping stuff, and then we'll get started, but we're going to check and see how many we have. We have enough for a quorum, I know that. Okay, so good morning, everyone. I'm glad everyone showed up. I know it's early in the morning, and I know you have a lot of questions. Hopefully, we'll get to them. And if we don't, we always have the rest of the day. I don't think any of us are going anywhere. You guys know where we're at. Our door's open at the tribe. I know sometimes I'm hard to get a hold of, but I'm always busy as well. So I'm glad the tribal council's all here. Glad that each and every one of you's here. Before we get started, I was thinking who I might can put this on, but I kind of don't think I could do that at the moment. I'm going to go ahead, and what we're going to do is we're going to have roll call, just so we have everybody on the list, so we know who you are, and then everybody online. You want to go ahead and read that off? Yeah. Everyone sign in that's enrolled, that's here today. Everybody signed in. Okay. I think, how many we have online? We have 17 people online. They can be in Germany. They can be in Russia. Who knows? In Europe, there are Caddos that are able to get online that do not live here, but we want to make sure they have access to all the information that we have. So all together, we do have enough for a quorum. So before we get started, we've had some losses in the tribe in the last couple of days. And I'm going to go ahead and offer a word of prayer, and then we'll go ahead and jump into our agenda for this morning. Y'all just bear with me for a moment. Hoya ahayo, kakeya heya bosa ahayo, ana heboa seheboa, ditti dawina gotia deko deba hana ahayo, gotia deko deba ahayo, kunadiska kunadas jo kunaha kuro kunahadiro ahayo. In these directions. The great doctor that you are, look down upon us and forgive us for our sins, Almighty God. You must bless the youngest to the oldest in this room, those that are online listening, and those that are without today, those that are incarcerated, those that are having a hard time in their life, and those that are in the hospital. Let us understand each other so that we can understand your will, because without you, we're no one. We just ask that you help us in our mind and our spirit and our heart today so we can move along as a unit, as a tribe together in peace and harmony, love, compassion, and joy, so we can get along in this life and move our tribe forward. I ask that you bless each and every one here, Almighty God. Even though sometimes we may not see things eye to eye, we can listen to each other. We can come together and break bread with one another and work our differences out. I ask that you bless all our elders here today at this moment, those that are in this room and those that are at home and those that are listening to us. Take care of those losses that we had, things that we have to do in the next couple of days with these loved ones that went on, Almighty God. You take care of their families. You must look after the Parton family today, Almighty God. Be with them and watch over them, Almighty God. Take care of the Edge family as well, Almighty God. Sunda, place of the soldier over there. We have relatives crying over there in Fort Cobb. Take care of them like that, Almighty God. Different ones here and there. Just bless all our people today and bless the council, our dance ground, our Native American church ground, all our churches, and all our people around the world, and your people, Almighty God. Through your Son, Jesus Christ, I pray. Amen. Okay, so I appreciate everyone, giving me a moment and staying with us here. So now that we've taken care of we have a quorum, and we took care of the prayer, the minutes that we have. Did everyone get a copy of that? That if you didn't get a copy, we do have copies up here. Apologize that, a lot of stuff is online. You can take your phone and you can put it over the kiosk thing here and take a picture of it, and you'll have everything that's online within your phone. Henry, okay, can you come here for a second? I'm gonna need your help. You might want to put these, I'd take that box and I'll take them over there. I think that's some of the agenda items. Yeah, just put them on that table. He's going to bring a box around. For those of y'all that didn't get, a copy of the minutes or the reports or anything like that, there are hard copies as well. And there may be things that we don't have today. We'll get them as well. Okay, Jennifer, I'm going to hand you this related to the minutes.
Okay, so everyone should have a copy of the July 30th minutes, and if you've had the opportunity we'll give you about, 2-3 minutes to read. Is that enough time? Or if you haven't already read them, and then we'll put them up for approval.
So after the reading of the minutes, with respect to your time and you sitting there reading those, when you're done, we'll ask anyone if they have any questions about the minutes, and then you can raise your hand. And if so, we can take care of that. Today, with some housekeeping stuff, just so that everyone knows. Of course, if there is a storm, we do have storm cellars now. We have plenty of them, which is great, just in case something happens. We know there's the exit there and the exit here. And also today, since we have people online, with respect to their time, we're going to go through the agenda just so that everyone knows. And when we go through the agenda, when we get done with the agenda, then we're going to open it up for questions and answers for the members, because that way we can get through the agenda and have time for you. And out of respect for the people that's online, we're going to ask that you help us out with respect to everyone's time here today, because we have another family coming in at 3. They have the building to use, so we're going to eat, I think, at noon, and then hopefully finish up by 1. We have another family coming in. There's been some losses in the tribe, so just out of respect for them as well. And if you do have, when we get to the questions and answers, just so if you have a question, we're going to ask that you come up to the podium, because the way that this works out there in the world of the media world is that the only people that can hear you is in that microphone. And so that way they can hear what you have to say. And just if y'all can help us out and do that. And then we're going to limit it to 2 minutes per tribal member. If you have any questions, you have 2 minutes. And when we get to a minute, we'll hold this up just so that you know you have 1 minute left. The only reason we're going to do that is with respect for everyone's time that is online. We have over 7,040 members. It's not just us in this room anymore. There are people that are watching us all over the place. And I've been getting a lot of phone calls after the membership meeting from all over the country about respecting their time that's online, and they want to hear substance and what's going on. So if we can take care of that, then we can get through the day. But just remember also, we're here every day.
and we're here during the meal. You still have questions, we're all going to eat together, and you can still ask the questions that you need to. And we're just going to move on down the road. Who made the motion? Do I have a motion to approve the minutes? Eric Guy made the motion to approve the minutes of July 30th, 2022, Caddo Nation membership meeting that was held. Do I have a second? Seconded by Anita. Arnita. All in favor, raise your hand, or raise your hand online, I believe. Is that how they're going to do that, online as well? And then we can get a count. You got to raise them a little higher. There you go. Did you get them all? Okay, we're looking online, see who's all online. We almost have more people online than we do in person. Can everyone online, could you signify on your end in the chat box, yes or no? Or abstain? Is there any abstentions in the room? Anyone abstain? Laura abstains. Do we have any no's? Laura? You, hold on, Laura. How many is online total? It's around 23, the same amount of people that's in this room is online. There's 23 people online. That's all over the country. But we have 7,040 members, and we never know who's going to get online. So just so that you know. Okay, so we have enough for a quorum. 0 no votes, and how many abstentions? No abstentions online. Laura is the only one. Okay, so what's the count? (1901), so the motion carries. And the minutes have been approved. Okay, that is that that other microphone's on, right? Yeah. This is our IT guy. He's been contracted out to help us today to make this happen in the real world of media. So just bear with us. I think this would be easier. Okay, so just so that everyone knows, the departmental financial reports, you'd be happy to know that we have in-housed our finances. Finley and Cook is no longer taking care of our finances. We saved quite an extreme amount of money by doing that. And the people that are running our finances are in-house and are master degree CPAs. So we're really happy about that. And so some of the financial reports from Finley and Cook we have not received those in our system. So the ones that you have is from 7/1/2022 to 8/31/2022. Our system is still being brought up, and we have MIP that's in place. However, Finley and Cook, through a transition, is transitioning all those files and those records to us. What we have today is what you have. Matt, can you turn off that thing, or have Daryl? Is Daryl in here? Daryl, you know how to turn that off? Sounds like it's going to crash. Hopefully it won't come through the roof. Okay. So I think everyone can hear me, and if you can't, just let me know. Again, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. And before I go in to say what I'd like to say, hopefully we can get that thing turned off. You got to be smarter than the machine, right? Can everyone hear me? Even that thing's going off like that? Okay. We're going to go ahead and move on. First, I would like to thank each and every one of you for being here. I know you're taking some time out of your own life and schedule today to be here. You do have questions. We're going to ask that you save those questions until I get through the agenda, and then we're going to have Q&A. Again, you're welcome to come up here and ask those questions so that everyone else can hear you online as well. So today is a new era within the Caddo Nation. I don't know if you're well aware of that. When we got here 18 months ago, this tribe was completely broke. And unfortunately, the previous administration did what they could with what they had. The previous administration before that did what they could with what they had. And the previous administration. So this is a continuation. It's not about Bobby. It's not about the previous council. It's not about any of us up here. It's about all of us working together. Now, we may have different ways of how we go about that, but the fact of the matter is we're not going to let one person or one family or one individual hold this tribe back anymore. And the reason for that is the people outside of this world are really looking at the Caddo Nation today, that the Caddo Nation is back. And they're back because we're doing some things that we haven't been able to do in years. Right now, I would like to say that you're basically almost financially debt-free. Yeah, just Laura, you're going to wait until I get done, then you can talk, okay? So just so that everyone know, this is a different day and age within the tribe. We're moving the tribe forward. The debt here at the tribe is no longer a debt. We have caught up on all the bills. We have clean audits. Not only do we have clean audits, we're moving towards self-governance. That means we'll negotiate all our money with the federal government and do what we can to continue to move the tribe forward. So I'm going to give you an example of that, of some of the successes that we've had in the last 18 months. This is since we've been here, okay? So if you can start that little video. If you see the land that we're actually showing, we're auditing all our land and taking our land seriously, and we're taking control of that. Not only are we taking control of our land and our assets and the oil and gas and all the minerals and everything that we need to do to protect the tribe, we're also helping our families with everything that we can. These houses right here that you see are all brand new roofs at Happening Circle. Those are 5 roofs that we were able to put on by capturing the insurance that we needed to take care of that. without any cost to the tribe. Also, we purchased property there on I-40 for economic development as well. Able to work on the Moreau's dance ground and get that up to shape, and all the dance grounds that the Caddo Nation uses today. Emergency management is big in case there's a tornado or something that happens that we need emergency management folks for. So we have a department and vehicles for that. We're also, there's an industrial park related to economic development, related to jobs for the local area that we're looking at as well today. And that's moving along. The Tribal Plaza and the upgrades here, we have new dispensers. We're fixing to have new awning. We're just waiting on Valero to put all the awning on. That's already been paid for. All those dispensers are new. Every one of them, they were in a disarray. And so we got that taken care of. We do have a new firefighter equipment, and we do have new fire trucks as well. And the reason for that is there was a big fire that could have wiped us out here not too long ago that's coming this way. So we had to invest in some fire trucks, make sure that we protect the tribe's property. Also, we remodeled the conference room, and of course, that's the seal in the conference room and the table. Other boards meet there as well as other employees. The building on the EPA roof, that used to be, I think, election board and other offices, but that's a new roof. Of course, we have all this equipment today that you see up here and that you see here, so that we can televise things live, so our members can see what's going on and participate across basically the world. We had some people visit us the other day that were Caddo. They were from Germany, and their father is here, who happened to be the vice chairman of the Caddo Nation from 1984 to 1986, who happened to be under your mother, who was Mary Pat Francis. So he was glad he came here, and we got to take some pictures with him. The housing board, we've established the housing board. Of course, that's the housing board members. We have one of them here, Laura Butler. I think, is that the only one here? Yeah. We just put a new roof on the museum. That roof was shot. We just got that taken care of. The insurance helped pay for that. And I don't know what happened to Daryl, but he helped get that done. That's at the Department of Energy Summit in Washington, D.C. In the middle, the lady in the red is the secretary that was appointed by President Biden. Just returned from D.C. That's the Hinton property related to the child care facility that we're going to develop. That cost on that is $7 million. Guess what? None of it your money. All funded by the Administration of Family and Children's Services. And we have some maps back here. And we captured a cabin with that when we bought the property. And so we're coming up with a master plan on having an open house and letting our members see what we're going to do there. We actually put a new roof on the community building. And right now we're taking bids on taking care of the electric. We're going to take the windows, and we're going to have a historian help us take the paint off the windows so we can keep the windows intact and the credibility of the windows. The siding is going to be replaced. Everything and integrity and the safeness of the building is going to stay intact, but we're going to redo the roof. Well, the roof's been done. We're going to redo the electric, the inside, new cabinets, new floors, and all that. So that's one of the things that we're doing right now. Right here that you see Half Moon Circle, yesterday was able to capture $453,876.32 to put in a new road at Half Moon, all paid for by the Federal Highway Administration. So that's one of the things that's going on. So you can row that without the music. That way people can see that. So just so that everybody knows, we have moved into an era that we're dependent upon grants and federal dollars, and all of them are competitive. It's not something that the U.S. government says, here's some money. They're competitive. They're based on our audits. They're really tedious to go after. There's $460 billion up for grab throughout the United States and throughout agencies, and we're going after every dollar we can. With that said, the budgets that you have from Finley and Cook and the budgets that you have today are program budgets. We do not have we have a program budget for the tribe and for all the programs, and all the budgets are in those grants. We do not have a tribal budget because, quite frankly, we don't have any economic development at this time. Once we start generating those dollars, we'll have a tribal budget. So every budget that we have is tied up in 60 different pots of money, 60 different pots of dollars. At the height of that, for the last 18 months, probably around 12 months ago, the height of that was over $100 million. Actually, 104 million that we was able to bring into the tribe. Those dollars are put back into programs that you can utilize and that you have access to. And whether it's social services, whether it's higher ed, adult ed, aid to tribal government, job placement and training. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. Eric Guy's here, and he is able to help us with some training, some truck driving students that was successfully finished a truck driving course. And we have a little gift for him related to that. We had a lady and a man that successfully graduated from that truck driving school. And so we're happy about that. And we were able to fund that through job placement and training dollars through a 638 contract with the BIA. So just so that everyone knows, that's where we're at today. So all your program budgets, there is a budget. We did adopt that at the tribe related to the programs, and we have that. It is online. The future of the economic development of the Caddo Nation looks really bright, seeing that our audits are clean, and we're going towards self-governance, that banks want to work with us, and the U.S. government is looking to help us build economically through the Department of Energy to build clean energy projects and solar, some of our homes, and help us build some of those components. And so we're looking at manufacturing items related to clean energy products and getting those out into the world's market. So the economics of the tribe related to that is really looking really well. We have our first team meeting next week with the Department of Energy. I was able to meet with all of the Department of Interior, BIA, DOI, Secretary Holland's appointees in Washington, D.C. Actually, those appointees from President Biden within the Department of Energy, also within the Department of Bureau of Indian Affairs, and at the DOI, as well as the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission and other federal agencies. I spent a week up there in DC, and they catered to me while I was there. We have a government relations person that went with me, and they explained where the dollars are at and how we go get those dollars. And now check this out. This may blow your mind because it blew my mind. Do you know that if we 638 these contracts, like aid to tribal government, it's $24,000. I'll give you an example. We got from the BIA through a 638 contract. Okay. We had 2 students that are Caddo that went through that training that Eric helped put together related to truck driving. They got their CDL license. We're able to report now about that success. And we made that happen. Because we 638 that project and those dollars from the Department of Interior, along with social service, along with Indian child welfare, along with transportation, and every federal contract related to 638 that we could contract out from the BIA to here and administer it ourselves, we've obtained. We've obtained every one of them. And because of that, the Department of Interior said that because you've done that through this program that they have called 101 LR, you're able to either remodel or put windows in or help maintain the facility where that program's housed, or we will build and help you build a brand new governmental headquarters with Department of Interior money. And so I talked to them. And so there's been 2 years of money that's been sitting in a pot in Washington, D.C. through the Department of Interior, and they're going to help us go after the money. And the idea is to build a brand new government building, a new government complex, brick and mortar, south of here, possibly on this 10 acres we will look, because we own this 10 acres right here, ground up. Okay, that will house our attorney general, that will house our court system, and that will house our elected leaders when we move into a court system. Right now, we're going after our dollars from the Department of Interior related to having our own court. Okay, so that we'll have our own court, we'll have our own judicial system. And the Department of Interior is working with us to make that a reality, and so is the BIA. And so I'm really glad to know that they have money to help with that. And if I would have known, I think if any chairman would have known, if you 638 those programs, you can get the money to take care of housing those programs. Well, no one knew that, I don't think, but that's why you have to get out there and beat the halls. So I'm really glad to know that the Department of Interior is going to help. We're looking at a new tribal headquarters building. All those will involve community meetings related to what we're going to do once we get to that point. And as far as the size, what it's going to look like, the history, how we're going to build it, and all that. New construction projects. We're also received 1.6 million from the Department of Homeland Security. Just so that everyone knows, that 1.6 million is going to build us a fusion center and a cyber facility here on our ground. That's all funded by the Department of Homeland Security. Okay. The good thing about that is we're going to build it. We're going to hire Caddos to build it, just like just like this construction of a new tribal government building. We will build it. Our people will build it. We'll create jobs. And then also, we're looking at building the child care center in Hinton, Oklahoma on I-40. We have a lot of those with 17 counties that we can build in. And so in that 17 county related to the funding, Weatherford, El Reno, Yukon, that area, and then Hinton, the people that we serve. I think Mikey knows. Mike, you probably know more about it than I do on that end. And so you can ask him too. But we're really excited to see that happen. They were awarded for their accomplishments. Just so that you guys know, I don't think anyone knows. I think you're what, the 6th top child care facility in the nation, right? In 3rd in the state, I believe, right? Out of 39 tribes, something like that. And they received I think the number that I had was $37 million, somewhere like that. Mike, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that they have access to. And so by the time the child care center gets built, that's just 7 million out of that 37 million, I believe. But that 7 million is going to create jobs and to build it, but not only build it, and we're going to build it, and we're going to build it with our people. It's going to, I think you're going to have about 32 teachers that are going to be full-time and have jobs. It have an aquatic pool, I believe. It have a walking trail. A lot of our culture is going to be built in that. Those plans are over here on this table. And if y'all want to look at those today, they're over here as we move along. So we're looking forward to breaking ground real soon related to that. We have basically 10 months. Within 10 months, we have 10 months to break ground. We got an extension on that, so we're really glad to know that that's going to happen. We're going to build a fusion center, and we're going to look at building a new tribal headquarters. And we've topped out here, just so that everybody knows, we have 73 employees. When I got here, there was, at that time, there was only 30, a little over 30 employees, and we have 73 employees today. Payroll is about $156,000 every 2 weeks. Okay, that's a pretty good payroll. That means that that money goes back into the economy. 1/3 of those employees are all Caddo. Okay, so we're glad of that. Yeah. Just hold on. Yeah, we got. Yeah. But I think it's important just to let everybody know where we're at, okay? And so that was Marie, if anybody wants to know, if anybody can see her, she's telling me to hurry up. Old business, we'll get down to old business, okay? the tribal minutes and the resolution. We come up with a formulated process to put those online, but there's some stuff that we have to redact. We're working with the U.S. Government, the BIA, on what the laws that protect some of the proprietary information that's on there. Once we figure that out, they will be online. We don't know if you're going to have like a code or something. We can just push a button, you know, like it'd be assigned to you or use your enrollment number, but you're going to have access to all the minutes, all the resolutions, and they will be accessed online at any given time, just so that everyone knows. All those minutes, of course, are on file at the BIA, and they're recorded there, as well as archived here into our server, and some of the stuff is even put in safes. We're creating all the systems to make sure that all this stuff will never disappear from here again. Constitutional reform, we're going to be having meetings about constitutional reform, and there are people online that's willing to help us that live out of state with that. We're going to have community meetings about that, so it involves you, and we're bringing in some folks to help us out of Harvard Law to help us with that constitutional change and what that looks like, because they know that world better than we do. They've done that before, and they've been helping tribes. Of course, the Chickasaw are helping us as well. Bill Anatubby and his staff, Lisa Billy, the Speaker of the House, has been really good at helping myself, as well as the other tribes, and Chief Hoskins Jr. With the Cherokee Nation. I was able to meet with him related to how to get the structure back up and running here. Now you got to remember, here's where we're at 18 months ago. We didn't have anything hardly. And the pandemic, but now you got to remember there was a pandemic, okay? 2 years, the building's empty. We're desolated. We lost 987 people. In 18 months, we came from that to topping over 100,000 with 73 jobs, with quadrupling our land base, and we're still continuing to move forward. But we can't do it alone. We need each and every one of you. And what we do is what we need each and every one of you is what we have to have is unity. And we have to pull together. The more we pull together and the more we understand each other, the more we can get things done. And I just want to mention that. And then, of course, we have boards that we don't have established. Because of the disarray, a Court of Indian Offenses has, taken over our CFR portion of the tribe, because we have allowed them to do that. If there's any disputes among the people, say we have someone in this room that didn't agree with me or didn't agree with the council or didn't agree with our programs, they can find recourse. It doesn't die on deaf ears. And so the Court of Indian Offenses has jurisdiction over all the boards, the council, the tribal chair, and that keeps everybody fair until we have our own court system. And then we have, of course, the child care facility. I already talked about that. And so we have questions that people want to get to. I'm going to, stop and pause. And so if anyone has anything they'd like to add, the council, before we open it up to the floor, does the council have anything they'd like to add? Anyone would like to say anything? Okay, so just so that everybody knows, the council also has been very, very busy by going to events and representing the tribe, as well as all over the country. We have a few that's going to the National Congress of American Indian to visit with them and talk about the tribe, as well as cultural events. We kind of split it up, culture events, other events. Everyone's kind of taking a row in tribal government and meetings, so everyone's kind of busy going to different things. So with that said, again, thank you for being here. We're going to open it up for if anyone would like to come up and say something. And we're going to have, just out of respect, remember we got 2 minutes, and then we'll try to get to, if we go down the row, if y'all want, it'd be easy if you want to. Well,
You have a few questions online as well.
okay. We have a few questions online as well, but we have 2 elders who are shaking their, I'm not going to ask who's older. They're going to beat us. They're going to beat us up. That's all right. You're going to be here for another 100 years, Laura, so we'll be good. You want to come up here? Mikey, you ready to do that? Well, you're on the spot. You don't have a choice. Come on up. We'll keep track of your minutes.
Okay. I'm keeping it at 6. Start your timer now. Okay. So before we before I get to the center, I want to give you a little information about our childcare program because I do get a lot of questions about that in general. So we do have a report in the department reports. If you get a chance to read that, um, our Child Care and Development Fund, our administrative offices is located up here in the main building. We have a subsidy team and a cultural team that is located here in the cultural building. Currently, we service 127 families, Native families, 230 children. We have 42 licensed centers and 42 relative care providers. Right now, we have roughly 91,000 that we pay out a month in subsidy care. We're currently serviced at 100% categorical eligibility, and I believe we're the only child care program in the state, and I believe the country that is doing that. So we're trying to get other tribes on board to do that. So if there are other tribes that are represented in this room, we encourage you to go back to those tribes and tell them to come and reach out to us because we're trying to recruit others to do that. We attribute that to why we obtain so much funding in the way we do. We are a forward funded program, so that means that we are continually receiving federal funding year after year while still operating on, right now, we're still operating on fiscal year 21. We just exhausted fiscal year 20 and have already been awarded the fiscal year 22. So when you say we're sitting on $30 million, we're still trying to spend as much money as we can. So with the numbers that we have for our subsidy program, we just expanded our service area to 17 counties in Oklahoma. I believe that's one of the largest service areas for a Caddo Nation program. So by all means, please reach out to us if you have any questions about that. In regards to the Hinton facility, with the help of the tribal council, we will be constructing a brand new early care facility just on the outskirts of Hinton at I-40. It is going to be on the west side of the Sugar Creek Casino. And what that's going to offer is it's going to be early care for Native families and children, very similar to what you see here on site. That center that you see here is only large enough to facilitate roughly 25 children and 4 to 5 staff members. That center will be able to service roughly, I think, 50 plus children, and like you said, 30, if not more, staff. We're going to build an aquatic center. We want to utilize a fitness center, a community garden, because we want to incorporate more culture into our curriculum. We've brought on Lena Topom. We've brought in Leonard Canute. We're bringing in a new teacher to our Hasine Center because we're really trying to dig into our culture and pass that on to our students. So culture and heritage is really going to be a main component of building this new center. We don't know a lot yet of other plans for that center. Those are all still in development. But like they said, we've got the plans over here. That's really all I know at this point because a lot of those plans are still in development. But if you have any other questions about the funding, about the program, I would be happy to answer any of those questions because I think my timer is still ticking.
Someone yielded another 2 minutes if you need 2 more minutes. So Mike, while you're up there, you said that out of 17 counties and paying these subsidies to people that need help with their children, right? That
Yeah.
we're helping them take care of their children at home or in school or wherever they're at.
We are on a categorical eligibility program, which means that for most programs, if you are over income, normally you would be denied services. That is not the case with our program. If you are considered over income, normally you are not denied. What that means is categorical eligibility means you are priority rating. So we go off of a point system. So normally this only affects a copay. So the family will pay a monthly copay to their chosen provider.
And that covers 17 counties?
And we service 17 counties in Oklahoma.
Okay, out of that 17 counties, what does that look like every 2 weeks that you pay out? How much?
Every month, that's it averages 91,000 total.
How much?
91,000.
In 1 month?
Huh?
In 1 month?
In 1 month.
So basically almost 100,000. And so if you figure 12, that's over $1 million a year, right?
Mhm.
And so that gives us around 2 million by the time we're out with payroll a year, just in payroll to families and people that need help. Okay. Okay, Mike, we have a question. Hold on. Don't leave yet. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, here's an online question. Will the aquatic center be open to the public or tribal citizens?
I believe we're going to try to open that up to tribal citizens and to the community. Our goal very much is for this to be a community-oriented space. So we're trying to invest in that now. We're trying to make investments in the community, in community outreach now, so that by the time this space is up and going, the community knows who we are and what we do. So that by the time that space is up and going and the doors are open, the community is invited to participate. And while I'm up here, I believe, I hope I don't get in trouble for doing this, but we are planning events in the month of November. Of course, it's Native American Heritage Month. If you'll check the Caddo Nation Child Care Facebook page, in conjunction with the Caddo Nation of Oklahoma, we will be sponsoring some Native American heritage community outreach events for tribal members and the community. So I encourage you all to check that out.
And we'll also be having an open house on the property. And so people can see the lake and see the cabin and actually see where the building is going to be built. And so we'll be working with childcare, the government will, and making all that a reality for our members.
You have another question online. Will there be summer culture and heritage day camps so those from out of state can bring their children for some tribal learning and bonding?
Summer culture and heritage. The only projects that's an idea. We have something ongoing during the summer that is our Native Summer Learning Camp. That is a project ongoing between 5 area tribes. So I encourage everyone to look at that during the summer. It's something that we operate. It's a partnership between us, the Delawares, the Kiowas, Comanches, and the Apaches. This past year, I believe, had how many children? 160 kids participate in that camp at 5 different campsites. And that was over 2 months. And we incorporated Native STEM, culture, art, and literature. And they learned a lot. And so we're already planning for next summer.
And a big chunk of that, 160 kids were here.
They were here,
Right
yeah.
here.
Mhm.
So that was great to see too. Does anyone have any more questions for? So there was a question. So no one can hear you other than this in this room and that's online, just so that you know. So that's why we ask people to come up here, but I'll reiterate what she asked. I'll do my best, Mike, to help out-of-state families with children. If that's something that we set 17 counties right here in Oklahoma. We don't set the rules. They do, the Administration of Family and Children's Services. But that's something, can we talk to them about how we could help possibly our out-of-state families and children like what she's talking about?
I think that would be a conversation between the program, um, administration for children and families with your assistance. I believe that would be something we can facilitate.
At least get it on the radar so we can
Yes.
discuss it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Yes, through grant money.
So
You want to answer that or you want me to answer it?
I can answer it. So all of the money that's been invested into the summer camp, the construction projects, everything, the subsidy childcare payments has come from the Administration for Children and Families, Office of Childcare, out of Washington, DC. Those are grant dollars that we are awarded to Caddo Nation Child Development Fund, and those do not have to be paid back. They are grant funded. It is a grant funded program. So, so we offer it, I believe we'll offer it to the community, but the way our program is set up, we offer our childcare services to the uh, members of federally recognized tribes, not just Caddo enrolled. Those are for our services, subsidy um, to our center. Uh, for those things, we recognize federally recognized tribes. But for the use of the facilities, the aquatic center, the community garden, things like that will be community-based as well as for Native Americans. I believe it falls under the purview of Health and Human Services.
Excuse me just for a moment, Gail. I'm sorry. We have people online and people are saying they can't hear you. Can you use the mic? Sorry. It should be on.
Am I? Head Start program is not inclusive.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll rephrase the question. She asked if, about the Head Start program, just so that everyone knows in this room, we don't have Head Start funding. Okay, this is not a Head Start program. This is childcare. This is a childcare program. Just natives, just natives. It's open for natives and Native American families that are federally recognized.
To
And
every,
you don't have to be native enrolled this tribe. You can be any tribe.
Ending that we have.
for our summer camp project. Yes.
You blew you gave your 2 minutes to Mike the first time, just so that you know. We was gonna save Q&A until after we're done, but go ahead.
Very good.
That's right.
I could talk forever.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gil. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Okay, well, Francis, you gave your 2 minutes up too, but go ahead.
My mind.
You can do that.
And population study, find out. The reason I'm asking this is because there's some very good programs that Mike was talking about that I would like to take advantage of, but they're too far away from me. I can't do that. Even with the elders program, the dinners, I would like to take advantage. But I can't do that every day because I live too far. I'm in Anadarko. I have either go to the Wichita program to take advantage of the ones that I want. Do we have a larger population around Hinton? Is that why that was chosen?
So just so that you know, Francis, the building in Anadarko that was built where you have the Regency Apartments, you know, where CHR is, that was actually built as a community building, right? And at the time, the tribe had allowed CHR to move in there. And so we're looking at how do we acquire a new building for CHR and open that up for the public so that we can have community events there. But I do know that they do have community events. It's just probably we need to do a better job of putting that out there. And since you mentioned it, we are going to be looking at our Caddo people as well as our tribal members and elders to help us with formulating the curriculum, you know, helping us with the school, helping us with the events. So we could use all the help that you could provide and involve you more and more.
Talking about is this aquatic program that he mentioned. I would like to take advantage of that, but it's too far away. So if I want to do that, I have to go to that, whatever that name of that Wichita thing is, where you can go and do water aerobics or whatever.
Yeah. We got you. Yep. Yeah,
Because, of course, I'm not eligible because I live out of the service area.
Yeah.
But my sister is
What?
in the service area by a block or two
Yeah.
or something. I understand that the cattles can serve up to a certain point and then
Yeah.
it becomes a different.
Right. So it's kind of really messed up in a way because you have, you know, like you're talking about the food distribution program, right? That we don't have a food distribution program here. However, the other tribe has our dollars related to that. So they serve our members over there in Anadarko. And that's the way that that's structured because where the money comes from. But as far as a feasibility study and what we need to do in Anadarko, we have over 1,000 people that are enrolled Caddo that live in the Anadarko area. The biggest influx of tribal people is in Anadarko and Oklahoma City. Those are the biggest enrolled people in those areas. So we really need to look at what we can do better, you know, and build there in Anadarko and add to some of those ideas you had and the funding that goes with it to make it happen. So if we have the idea, you know, we can look at going after the dollars. But that's something that we need to know from you, you know, what you'd like to see. So I'm glad you brought that up. And we have Laura has a question. Are we okay over here for now? Oh, she's bringing you the mic, Laura. Oh, they can hear you from that one. Okay, all right. All right.
Actually, I had several.
That's fine.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
I had several questions, cut it down to 3. On your slideshow, it shows what you're gonna do. What have you done? We know nothing. Don't answer. You can do whatever. And was the attorney that we've got hired out of Chickasha, was he not your personal attorney before we got him? And how is he being paid? Third thing, your letter to the BIA, which was in the paper yesterday on the Wichita Casino, did not address anything other than say, whatever. It was, I don't know who wrote it, whether you did, the attorney did, whoever didn't make a wave at all. It just showed up on Caddo Nation Facebook. It could have been used for toilet tissue. I'm serious. It made no difference. In actuality, I do believe, and I will say this, and I've said it before, the Wichita should have to be made to take everything off of that land. Everything. And there should be a monument put there that nobody, not the Caddo, Wichita, or Delaware ever put anything on that land. There are kids there and parents. I know that. We know it from history. And that wasn't addressed. It hasn't been. But I would like to know what y'all have done, because I see what you're gonna do, but you've been in there a while. What have you done? And I'm through.
Okay. So, Laura, I really appreciate you being here, and you're probably one of the most vocal people within our tribe. But I'm gonna let you know what we've done. Okay? We fixed this tribe from being broke. We fixed this tribe from being broke. This tribe was broke financially, and the administrative framework wasn't here. So I'm gonna, you asked me to answer your question. You asked me to talk, so let me talk. Okay. This whole Laura, if you don't see what's going on with the tribe, you got to be the most blindest person within the tribe. Well, you know, with 73 people, that's okay. Listen, it does matter, or you wouldn't bring it up. Let me let you know, okay? What you see on here is what we've been able to do, but just so that everybody knows, there is an in-house lawyer. He is a policy analyst, okay? He's also the Tribal Historic Preservation Officer, okay? He's only a policy analyst for the Caddo Nation. He's going after our court system for us. And so that everyone knows who he is. He only came on board because I asked him to come on board to help straighten the tribe out. We do have a law firm called Connor and Winters, and Steve Ward is our lawyer. And so when it gets down to the WCD land, our response is a legal response based on law. It's not based on someone's feelings. It's not based on my feeling. It's, you know, okay. Let me try to explain this the best way I can. Somebody told me that I need to talk to our people like we're in a third grade, and it really upset me because I didn't know how to feel about that.
Please don't insult us, Bobby.
No, I'm trying. No, I'm trying to just hold on, you two. Okay. Out of you two, there's 7,000 people enrolled this tribe. Okay. I get calls every day and answer these questions. Let me break it down to you. Okay. That's fine. Well, you know what? What you're not seeing is we're not sitting there. Well, I'm not going to get into all that. If you can't see it, then I can't do nothing about that. You probably will never see it. However, let me get back to where we're at legally. We're not going to sit here and talk about a case related to the Wichita that is ongoing, because some of that is still proprietary information related to the government. We're not going to, we're going to do everything legally. We responded legally to the Wichita's response to the BIA. The BIA said that they had to have a lease agreement. They do not have one. We responded legally and under the law that we agree with the BIA that they have to have a lease agreement. Those decisions yet hadn't been made as far as what the BIA is going to do. Basically, the BIA has a role in the regional director, so it's back on them to decide what's going to happen with those properties. There are 3 tenants. We all share in that property, with the Caddo Nation owning 60% of what's in the ground and what's on top of the surface. And so yesterday we responded with a 20-page legal brief, and it was professionally done, scholarly done, and legally done, and we'll let the BIA and the government decide legally what the best course of action is. Yes, now it is. Well, they had a store there. and they converted it to a casino. That's how. According to the United States government and the Bureau of Indian Affairs, you are to have a lease agreement with the other two tenants, the Delaware and the Caddo, right? That's just like you said, but they opened anyway, right?
Did the cease and desist order
Yes,
that was going, was it ignored?
yes, it was
And
ignored.
so what was the consequences of that?
We had 3 days to respond legally, and why it was ignored? And we responded yesterday was the 30-day
Well,
mark.
we know why it was ignored. Because the Wichitas ignored it completely because they can't. They go ahead and do whatever they're going to do and then say, ha ha ha. Caddos, what are you going to do now? It's already up, it's already running. And again, we're out in the cold.
Well, just so that everyone knows, we responded to the Wichita's response to the BIA. And legally, you can read it online or get a copy. And now the ball's back in their court. They have to follow federal law. The United States government, to make this short, Connie, the BIA, the Wichita, the Delaware have to follow the law. What they did goes against the law, goes against the regulations. So now we've put it all in writing and we said what we said, and now it's up to the BIA to make another decision.
Huh.
And also the BIA, the tribe could appeal that as well. This can continue on. But we did everything that we needed to do as a council to protect the tribe, to protect the Caddo's rights to our land. And you're not going to tell this tribe that we're not who we are and expect us not to defend ourselves as a tribal government. This tribal government and this council was attacked. Let's put it out there, okay? No, we was attacked by, we was attacked, not by you. We was attacked by the tribe, by another neighboring tribe related to land that we share.
I think you're talking about the Wichitas, and I think if you would tell us what the Wichitas have done as far as obeying the law, that evidently we're the only ones who are doing it, and that there was a paper or there was a rumor or whatever that the Wichitas were saying we weren't even a tribe.
Yeah, okay. So I think we had a question here, but just so that everyone knows, so we don't, beat a dead horse. This tribal government, we're a nation within a nation and we're an ancient tribe. And we responded legally back to the US government, back to the Wichita, and now it's up to them to make a decision. But right now, according to our rule, according to how we see it, according to how the lawyers see it, they're out of federal compliance. The cemetery and the burials that are possibly there, that's a whole different ballgame. But when you open up a business, and if it's on tribal land, this is like if the Caddos opened up a business on WCD, we have to have a lease agreement with the other two tenants. They don't. And
So what are their, so
well,
they
you
they
would think
did
that
it,
they
they
wouldn't.
did it, and they're up and running and they're making money. So what are the consequences for them?
Give her the mic.
I want us to have an attorney that's gonna say, okay, you go ahead. And we want 60% of all the profits that you have made since you opened to present. What we should have, Bobby, is the attorney here. So we could ask him questions because he has a better handle of the legal consequences evidently. But they
yeah,
know the
yeah.
BIA is
So-
not gonna do anything.
So let
they
me,
mow us
Yeah.
over and go ahead and do it.
he want, yeah. Just, well, we know that. What? Yeah, just so that you know, a lawyer will not comment on pending litigation. Okay, we had 30 days to respond legally related to the opening of that facility. And we did so legally. And we put all the bells and whistles to protect the rights of the tribe. Now it's up to the US government to eventually make a decision. But when you read our response, I think you'll be satisfied with what our response was. We have the best lawyers on that. The federal lawyer that we have is one of the top in the United States in that law firm. So,
I'll
regardless
believe
of
it
what
when
you
I see
feel,
it.
regardless of how I might feel, we have to follow the law, and we have to make sure that we put it back on them to do so. Because it's- if you have to walk up to the mic to say that, yeah, I get you. Hold on.
Just real quick, it's illegally operated. That means we can't individually go down there and tell them to stop it. It's illegally being operated. So there's repercussions on that. The people that can shut it down would be the Bureau and the Gaming Commission. They could shut it down if they so chose to do so. So the National Indian Gaming Commission can shut it down, and so can the Bureau. It's at their hands to be able to take that action to do so. If they wanted to shut it down today, they could do it. So there's not only going to be legal repercussions for them to operate that facility, which it's illegally operated, then there can be those financial legalities and also legal things that they gonna have to answer to.
The BIA sent a letter to the Wichita and affiliated tribes saying to cease and desist. The Wichita and affiliated tribes ignored that and opened. We had 30 days to respond legally, and we did so because we did not agree with how that was done. They have to have a lease agreement with us. They don't have it. Like he said, it's, legally, it's not happening the way it should have, right? We all know that. And so we can't comment and our lawyers can't comment on a pending case because the way I understand this could also go on for a little while. But at the end of the day, we're going to need the regional director and them to make some decisions. So regardless of how we all feel, it's in the legal hands now. So that's where we're at. Okay, so we're going to move on. Does
Well-
anyone have any questions related to? Go ahead.
I was just,
What's that? Yes, they do. What's that?
Oh.
it's not working. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, all I wanted to ask was, all right, the only thing I wanted to ask,
Okay, so who's that? Hold on. So just so that you know, the letter to the BIA was legally wrote, right, by the best lawyers money can buy. And It's all federal. And the legal brief that we responded is 20 pages and it's online as well. And Caddo Nation website and on the Caddo Nation Facebook.
Okay.
And if you want a copy, you can come get one.
All right, since you said that, after you gave them that letter, they have
I think that the way that that works is that they have 30 days now to respond to what we said, right? And so, but we're also going to be, so yeah, we responded within 30 days and we sent notification to the agency superintendent and the two tribes, the Delaware and Wichita, and they have 30 days now to respond on their end. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
We have a question.
Hi, I'm Margaret Francis Rico. I'm here because my Aunt Joyce, wanted some help from the tribe, any help they could give. Our property, which is trust land, is in Fort Cobb. It starts with the Washita River and it's supposed to run to where the railroad tracks used to be, right there at the edge of Fort Cobb. Anyway, my Aunt Joyce lives there in this area, right off of Highway 9. Right off of Highway 9. And there's been, my grandmother lived there, my great grandmother lived there, so there's all these different homes there. And there's been a lot of vandalism. A lot of people going onto the land and hunting or camping and different things like that. And because she lives there now and there's nobody else but her on that land now, she's had to deal with a lot of this. And she's called the BIA. My sister's called. They've made police reports, but yet there's still, just as of yesterday, there was more vandalism that happened to a barn down there that my uncle found, where people had gone in and tore it up. And they've done that to each one of these houses that's down there on that land. They've gone in, tore it up. At one time, there was people living there in that home that we didn't know about. No electricity, no water, anything, but they were living there, and they were living there with a baby because the evidence we found were diapers. Anyway, it's just been really sad, and it hurts personally to have somebody come into your home like that. I'm going to read what she wrote because I asked her to go ahead and write something about this because she's an elder. Anyway, this is what she said. We are concerned about the vandalism that has occurred on our trust property. When my husband checked on the barn today, he found that the lock had been broken again and was gone. The doors were propped open and things were trashed around. Previously undocumented reports to the BIA law enforcement have done no good. Posting signs about trespassing are disregarded. We have noticed vandalism on other property that is believed to be trust property. Is it possible for the chairman or the tribal council to do something to help? It is federal cattle trust property. Why do people think it is okay to do whatever they want on Indian land? These people have destroyed my grandmother's former cattle home. And that's what she wrote. The home she's talking about is over 100 years old. My great grandfather built it with his own hands. And it broke my heart and it broke hers to know that people just came in and they didn't care that it wasn't theirs. They just came in and broke things. And they're continuing to do it over and over. And we don't know what to do. We've called the police. We've asked for extra patrols to come down there. So now she's asking you. And I don't know what you can do or what you can say to her, but she's asking you for help.
Margie, just so that you know, when we get time and my schedule allows, I'll go to Fort Cobb and see her personally. And as far as like the destruction of the house, just so that everybody knows in this room, we have a lot of cemeteries that are on tribal allotted lands that are being destroyed by farmers that are non-native, in houses that are being ransacked. This is not the first one. We had a house in Fort Cobb that it was totally wiped out because a farmer thought he could just tear it down. We have graves and cemeteries that have markers that we've been looking at where they just went in and wiped them out and put a horse trough on for the cattle. We'll be meeting with the BIA and their law enforcement and the chief of police related to the destruction of those cemeteries, as well as the destruction of those structures and those houses. And I will come over there and see Joyce personally. Okay. You're welcome. Also, just so that everybody knows, when it gets to the Riverside and the legal brief, when we're done, if you want a copy of that, to read it, we will get you a copy. So when you walk out of here, you can take it home with you. Okay. That way you'll have it. Okay. Hold on. From where? But where? Oh, we'll have to look at that. No, we'll have to look at that.
Hello. Can you hear me? I was just wondering, what is the difference of the Wichitas on this tribal land and the Delawares on their tribal land up there by the casino? Okay, we've got this WCD land where the Wichitas have their casino, and then we've got the where the Delawares have theirs. Okay, and yet they claim, this came from a Delaware, they claim that when we were kind of divided, this is Wichita's land, this is Delaware's, this is Caddo's. And I was told by the Delaware that the parking lot out in front of the casino on the south side was part of our land that we got use of. Also, we're on the north side where the cars are in that and those trailers and all that was supposed to be part of our land, but we didn't use it, so they took it. Have you heard? Yeah. Yeah, I want you to answer. Oh.
Okay, so just so that everyone knows, there was 10 acres that were given to the Caddo Nation up on by Lake Chickasha on that corner, KRPT Road that is ours. There's 10 acres that was given to the Delaware, that is theirs. There's 10 acres that were given to the Wichita. Because of the legal issues related to the Caddo Nation and our trusts and our rights, we have the biggest share and a say in all that. And people have ignored the law, as well as the tribes kind of been doing what they wanted to do. We're well aware, that part of the parking lot extends off into WCD lands as well. Those things will be worked out administratively as we move along to fix it. And so we'll keep there's 10 acres. Yeah, there was 10. Yeah, there's 10 acres for the Caddo that we never developed because Fritz Hendricks gave us this land to develop here. So that's why we developed here. That's why you never seen us develop that 10 acres. And then the Delawares built their tribal headquarters on that 10, and the Wichitas built their tribal complex. Yes. No, all the rest of it, you're right, but all the rest of it outside of that, the Caddo Nation owns 60% of all of it, in the ground and on the surface. According to the law, they have some things they have to work out as well with us as well, right? So when we're working it out. Is there anything that anyone else has to say before I give it to? There's a question, we have some questions online we got to get to.
Did the Delawares also write a response to Terry's?
The Delawares, last I knew, was responding as well, legally, to the BIA related to the Wichita and affiliated tribes response. So yes. Now, whether or not everybody, the cutoff day was yesterday to respond to what everything that's going on legally. And so that was yesterday. Both tribes had to respond. Yeah, or forever hold their peace. Right, exactly. We don't know that they have, but yesterday was the cutoff line, but I'm pretty sure that they did. They're to provide us a copy of their response legally as well, just like we gave a copy to the Wichita and affiliated tribes. That went out yesterday, as well as to the Delawares and to the agency. So when the Delawares response, they have got to send us a copy. Right, it'll be in the mail and certified. But what we did is, because yesterday was a deadline, we posted our response. That way everybody could see it. Right. All right. So this young lady who turned 17 yesterday had something for me to say, and I'll just read it. And she wanted to make mention that everyone please get out and vote here in Oklahoma. And what date is that? November the 8th, right? So we need to get out and vote.
Yes, I am working the
We
polls.
really want the tribes in this state to keep on going and keep on doing what they've been doing, which progress has really been moving fast with the different tribes. And so if we don't get out and vote, the wrong people get in office, and then we end up losing. And we're on a tipping point of losing. And if we don't vote for the right person, we are losers. You can just kick yourself right out the door.
And I have a
Thank you.
question. When the Caddos, Wichitas and Delawares were allotted their 10 acres, our 10 acres on the KRPT road, and the Delawares up there where they have their casino, and the triangle across this road from Riverside is the Wichitas. Was there a resolution, or was there an agreement that all three tribes signed? And where is that agreement now? I am given to understand that there is no evidence of that agreement anywhere. There is no evidence agreement. The Bureau of Indian Affairs do not have any evidence of that agreement on file. There is no evidence of that agreement in the Caddo files. There's no evidence of that agreement in the Delaware files. So therefore, if there are not proven evidence of that agreement, why are we allowing the Wichitas and the Delawares to operate businesses on those 10 acres that they are claiming, but they cannot prove belong to them? Also, is there a point of discussion about the Delawares and the Wichitas wanting excess more than their 10, what they are claiming, but cannot prove are their 10 acres? Is there any talk for the Bureau or anywhere about them wanting more, say like 600 acres?
Yeah, are you ready for me to kind of respond to that? Okay. So the best way that I can respond to your questions related to the 10 acres, related to the 600 acres, is all here legally, wrote up with dates, maps, years, timeframes, in archival record and scholarly reports and law. You will find everything in there, and that is your copy. If you need a copy, I'll give you one too. And if anyone else would like to have a copy, well, I have Matt making those copies. This is what was sent in our response. So when you read this, I think that you're going to really be satisfied with how that's wrote. So we're going to take one more question, and then we're going to answer some questions online. Okay, we're kind of.
I was just wondering, like you were saying, because Marie and I had went down to wherever it is behind the agency to get the information, the maps and all that. They couldn't find any. And we did get a letter, which I don't know what happened to it, but it was about the division of the land and all this. Well, it was signed for some reason. I don't know why their names were on it, but Ernest Redbird and Frida Sabatal was the ones that signed it with a vote on dividing the land. I guess that was supposed to approve it, but there was no numbers on the paper, and this was from that agency. It was blank. And that's I'm not sure where it's at, but we have that. That's why we were wondering, okay, since you said all of this and you can find this, and I don't know how to do that online, before our next Caddo membership meeting, can y'all get the maps for us, y'all? And where it was signed, where it was approved, both the 10 acres a long time ago to put the complexes on, and the division of afterwards to put casinos on.
Yeah, well, as far as like getting maps related to the acreage itself of the 2,300 acres plus how it's all divvied up inside, we'll work with the BIA and ArcGIS and our mapping people, to bring that up so we can get maps.
Well, I know y'all can get it a lot faster. than
But
we
but
can.
however, all the meat and potatoes related to your questions and Gail's questions and everyone's questions are related to, because forgotten knowledge, we all forget things, but when you start looking, historically, with the law, you're going to find out that in that legal brief goes all the way back to when we signed our land cession on August 1st of 1835, and how we ended up here and how the land was restored. It is really
Oh,
a
I know,
great
I
piece
can
of
read
reading.
it forever and I can get history. I don't want history. I want to see the signature.
Right, but you
And the
understand.
map, that's 3 papers.
I know, but to understand the history, you have to understand that to understand what you're looking at related to the
No,
maps.
because all I need is the agency's signature saying, yeah, this was divided. That's what I'm asking, not.
You know
three
what,
papers
whatever
long.
they have, if we can get it, we'll get it.
That's what
Okay?
I was asking.
That's what we'll try to do.
I just have one more question.
Yeah, ma'am.
Can I-
Yes.
that 10 acres of our building. Yeah.
Right.
So 10 acres across the fence here, a meeting a long time ago said that was donated and it's only used for the elderly. For the veterans, for the elderly.
Yeah.
But it was only.
Yeah, actually,
I didn't know whether.
yeah, we'll track that down because right now we're, all the deeds, titles, the land. Yeah. The tribe actually bought that land and cleaned it up. And so that's not in any records that we have. But if we find that, we'll definitely need to know that. Yeah. Do y'all remember the guy that owned the junkyard next door? I think Daryl might. The guy that owned the junkyard next door. The guy that owned the junkyard next door, we bought that land from him. And so as far as the deed and title, that's something else we're trying to track down, along with like your maps you requested. That's something else we need to do as well. We're going to figure it out. We're still working on that. Okay, so we have a question online. Yeah, yeah, so just so that everyone knows, right? I guess the best way I could sum this up, if it was me, I would tax them. I'd put up a sign, you're talking about the Delaware parking lot? Okay. Which one is it? Okay, if the Wichita are using our land as a parking lot, why are we not getting monies for them using our land? Well, the reason we're not getting any money to use in our land is because one, the Wichita are a sovereign nation. If we decided to build them and send them an invoice and for the rent for 60% of the money related to their operations and do all that, they're going to ignore it. I would, right? They're sovereign. But at the end of the day, we as a tribe would not have a lease agreement without the other two because we have enough respect for the other two tribes, unlike some that are leading one tribe. However, we're going to do everything that we can to figure this out legally. Now, with that said, you had brought it up related to the Delaware in their parking lot. I actually told the Delaware chairman that we're going to put a toll booth and charge everyone a toll when they come into the parking lot. That didn't go too well. So they're yeah. Yeah, yeah, all well, I will let you know that it is a mess. If you haven't figured that out by now, it is all we're right. And and what we're trying to do as a government is do everything legally to get all that resolved. Right. And so we're doing everything we can to make. Okay. Well, for one, they'd probably call the BIA, right? And probably try to have you arrested. However, there's nothing that stops any one tribe at this moment from doing what they need to do. But we're not going to go out there and just do that because we're working with the U.S. government related to federal regulations and the law. They have to have lease agreements and they don't have them. And that's the first hurdle. As far as the parking lot goes, we're going to figure that out because if you think about it, they actually have to have a lease agreement too with us as well. Well, hopefully we'll have a response from the region within 30 days and it'll be a positive response on our behalf. Yeah, all that's wrapped up in that. Everything you're asking is all wrapped up in that legal brief. Everything. It's all in there. Yeah, it's all there. So once you read it, you'll understand it. You'll understand. And if you don't, give me a call. Okay. Hold on, Marie. We've got to let someone. We have another question online.
If it ever goes to litigation, we're just as guilty as they are, so. Okay, I said all three tribes are sovereign is what it boils down to, so we could send them demand letters. They don't have to pay us. We could go build all over WCD land, but if it ever goes to litigation, we're just as guilty as they are. So we're trying to stay above the fray and do things legally.
Okay. Is there any other questions? I know you guys let's talk about, before we end for our noon meal, I wanted to let everybody know I'm meeting with all 7 tribal leaders locally all the chairmans are going to meet here on November 8th. And one of the things that we're going to talk about is police brutality on the streets of Anadarko and the killing of our Native American kids and the murdered indigenous women as well in this community, as well as all the things that have been going on related to our rights as Indian people, right, that are being stomped on in the local area, as well as within Anadarko. We have more deaths related to Native Americans being shot on the streets by the hands of the authorities that are there. And we've lost some tribal members the other day related to that. I want God to be with their family. But just so that you know, I'm very upset about that. I take it personally. You cannot be killing our kids. It could happen to any one of our families. It could happen to me. It could happen to you. We've had more deaths among Native Americans lately in Anadarko within the last year than most cities that size in the United States. So we're doing everything that we can to bring the media involved. We're doing everything that we can to bring the best lawyers involved. We made phone calls to Washington, D.C. as well. And we're also going to be meeting here as just tribal chairmen, and we're all going to band together. And eventually we're going to figure out what we need to do to bring an eye on this. And we're also going to be talking about a civil rights commission here locally. And so we're going to need everyone to band together on this. And we may end up in Anadarko on the streets with signs as well. So there may be some peaceful demonstrations, though it's going to be peaceful. And our community really needs to start talking about this. Not only the meth and the drugs that are on the street, but also them incarcerating our people and killing our people on the streets. So just so that everyone knows. Yeah, the meeting is just with the tribal chairmans. I've contacted all the 7 tribal chairmans so that we can get together and discuss a plan of action. And when we come up with that plan, that will be relayed to all the tribal members at large on our end, as well as all 7 tribes locally. The Kiowas, the Comanches, the Fort Sill Apaches, the Delaware, the Wichita, the Caddo, and the Apache tribe. All those elected chairmen are going to be here, right here. Southwest Oklahoma tribes, yeah. Okay. All right. Is the council, would you like to say anything? Okay. All right. We have Jennifer Wilson like to say something.
Yes, I'm inviting you to come each and every Caddo to come to the First American Museum next Sunday from 11 to 4. We'll be dancing from 1 to 4. So please come out and see the museum. And we'll all just have a great time together. So be sure and come out. And it's on Sunday, a week from tomorrow at FAM. November 6th. Yeah. It is, all Caddos are free. All Caddos, as far as I know, are free in the museum. If you want to go see all the, the installations or whatever, exhibits, it's free admission for you until January 6th, something like that. We're working on getting another year for Caddos to be free. We're not sure about that. The chairman is working on that. So anytime you want to go up and go through the museum, be sure to get there. Yes. I don't, what? what is her question? We can't hear.
She had a question about the ICW law case going on that's trying to be overturned related to ICWA. We are part of that case and related to ICWA. And so we are banded with all the other tribes across the state. And so we will be there as well. Okay. Any other questions? Go ahead, Connie. We're going to find out. Okay, we're going to find out. When we find out, we'll put it. There was a question for those that are online about tribal members having access to the First American Museum if they get in free, and when does that cut off? We will let you know when we find out. When I meet with FAM, we'll put it on our website so that way everybody will know. Okay. Yes, and you have to say that, we took a bunch of folks. I don't know if you got to go with all the elders on the bus, but we did charter a bus and they went to the state fair. When that museum opened, we actually chartered a bus and sent everyone up to the museum as well. But everybody, yes, it was. It was on our Facebook and on our website.
I'll be Lord Jarvis. We didn't get a notice.
Let us know where you live and we'll send Mike over there and put a flyer on your door. Okay, yeah, well, we need to do this. One of the things that, just so that everybody knows, I know we talked about getting a newsletter out, right? We have to find the money to produce it and somebody to do that. We've been talking to some folks to make that happen. There was some questions about having another membership meeting, when we're going to have that. This is our last membership meeting for the year, for this quarter, and this is our last end of the year. But what we want to do is get a newsletter out. Are you going to see me on the social media to let you guys know what's going on? We're going to do more of that in between now and the membership meeting, so that we don't have to wait 3 months to know what's going on and all that. But right now, I just want everyone to bear with us because we've just been trying to get things back up and running. But if anyone has a question, if I'm not there, other than
14 straight hours of college football at FS1 on the next 8
do they have any what?
season against Allen,
Huh?
State takes
There was a question that if any of the district representatives have any money.
That's gotta be Lord Jarvis. She's so
Yes,
freaking.
there is. To have membership meetings and to feed people and stuff.
Or one of the Hignites. Butlers.
Yeah, we could do that. Hold on. Go ahead, Kay. There was a question about advertising events and letting people know that didn't have access to social media about certain events. Yeah, Kay's gonna answer that. Go ahead, Kay.
it's Texas last week. OU ironically has
Hello? Okay, this is working great. Well, as well as being the Fort Cobb representative, I'm also on the enrollment board. And hello, thank you for being here. And I just wanted to let you know that we are getting, as the enrollment board, we are getting together with the council's approval and according to the Constitution, so we don't overstep anything. We are getting together another census. We haven't had a census since 2009. And currently there are 7,033 Caddo members, and we're going to do a mail out. And we're going to be asking a few questions. We want to update our files. We want to get more information, mailing address. And we're also going to be asking if it's going to be okay for you to receive a newsletter. So we will not be sharing any of your private information without your permission. So this is all depending upon what you want. If you would like the if there's an election and someone wants to send a mail out, then we will ask that question on the census. There's going to be a few things involved in the census. We're going to ask about if you would like a mail out from people who are running for office. And so then all of your privacy is protected. We also would like to know about military status and everything, but this is totally optional. You can choose to fill this out or you can choose to not fill it out, but we ask you to please fill it out and send it back to us. We'll have it online also, so it'll be available. So those who don't get on the website are not going to be left out. And those who are able to get on the website, that'll be great. That'll be quick and easy for everyone. But yes, we are in the process of doing these things, and we're looking forward to updating it and bringing us forward as a tribe. So I hope that answers a little bit. I'll get on it. I'm in the process of it. I've gone through a few papers and put it together, and then I come back before the council and I come back before the enrollment board. And I ask, well, what else do I need to do to tweak this or to make it more correct and available for everyone? And so I think I've gone through my rough draft. I'm in my second draft. And so the next one that'll come out will probably be my third and hopefully my last. And we'll mail it out after that. Okay, thank you.
Hold on, just so that everybody knows before I forget, turkeys are going to be given away to members, I believe, next Friday. We're having a shortage of turkeys because it's crazy supply chain, right? Blame it on the supply chain and the government, but just so that everyone knows, be watching the news or the media or our Facebook or our website, okay?
Just going on to that, that enrollment, will there ever be a blood quantum adjustment for existing members? And will there ever be an open enrollment for membership, outside membership? I don't know if I was just asking, is there ever going to be a possible blood quantum adjustment on existing members in the near future, or an open enrollment for the Caddos, for people to enroll with the Caddos in the near future?
Okay, so no one could hear. Remember, we have to speak on that on one of these mics. So the question is, are we going to lower the blood quantum? Right. That basically lowering the blood quantum so we can enroll more people. That's something. Right, exactly. That's going to be looked at. Not only is it going to be looked at, we got to deal with it, right? And we're not just saying this stuff. We're going to act on those things. That has to happen with constitutional change related to the Constitution.
Okay. Hello? Okay, I just wanted to make sure this is working. Anyway, we do have blood consolidation right now. So if you have two or three separate tribes that you're a part of, you can contact the enrollment office and they will work with you to consolidate the blood. So it will bring your Caddo blood quantum up. But as far as changing the blood quantum, as far as people voting, that's a constitutional issue and we are working on it.
And then that's going to have to happen with changing the enrollment requirements, policies, procedures, administratively, how we function inside with that, as well as this electoral election. But we'd like to get to where the Constitution, remember, is that we have community meetings and everybody get together so we can look at some constitutional reform and get something on the next ballot for the next election so we can move toward getting some changes done, because this don't fit today's day and age. Yep. Huh?
I just wanted to mention that a change in enrollment requirements for the tribe has to be done through a secretarial election, and that has to be amended in the Constitution. So that's part of constitutional reform. Because you're changing our enrollment requirements. Our constitution has the enrollment requirements in there. To consolidate blood quantum, that's something that can be done through the enrollment board. Our constitution says what you are required to be blood quantum wise to be a member of the tribe. No, that's,
Yeah, huh, do what? Okay. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so that we don't lose our crowd, right? And we still have a quorum that we can come out of, right? As we move towards reform related to enrollment, we'll all be a part of that. We want to make sure that you're a part of that and you're a part of these discussions. If you notice how the tables are, we did this for a reason, you know, so that we can all be together, right? And we can all have something to say, and feel free to say it. Oh, before we get someone to pray for the food, there's something we want to do. There was 2 people who graduated from truck driving school, and this guy called me all the time, and he got on my nerves. As a matter of fact, he drove me batty and he drove me nuts. And I told his mom, I was like, man, I don't know about this guy. She said, I don't know about him either. He's my son. So Eric, Guy, can you come up here for a second? We just want to take a little time to acknowledge him. As crazy as he drove me nuts, this guy ran me over the coals, talked bad to me, mean to me. He's just, I tell you what, Eric, you know, it's all about not what we say, it's what we do, right? And really appreciate you taking those young people and getting them through the truck driving school. Today they have their CDLs. We was able to use tribal training dollars from BIA to make that happen. And you made it happen, and we have a little gift for you, and we from the tribal council and the government. And also, we're going to be meeting, just so that everybody knows, with a company that wants to work with Native Americans and look at starting our own Native American school, I think in Oklahoma City. And Eric's leading the efforts on some of that, and he's a trainer. Got a young lady who I think is your daughter. Oh, your son. And then there was another, an Edge. Was she an Edge? So 2 of them graduated. So appreciate it. Thank you very much, sir. Hey, Eric, in your defense, you want to say something about giving me a hard time?
Now, let me tell you, he's the worst one. No, no, I just want to say, I appreciate y'all, helping me get these, people in to get make a better, money for their lives. I know, Natalia Edge, I keep in contact with her quite a bit. She's a very amazing young lady. The job that she does, she handles a flatbed. She hauls big giant coils on back of a flatbed. We call that suicide jockeys because that big old giant roll of metal can bust some chains off at any time while she's going down the road. You know. But I told her I wouldn't do it. She said, well, uncle, you're not me. I want to do it. And I said, okay, go for it. Yeah, Anthony, his mom's right there. He came and talked to me, asked me a bunch of questions. I've been in the trucking industry for 30 years. It's been good to me. Told me to take care of my family, do what I got to do. I'm proud to be a Caddo member. I did place that on my trucks that I had, that I'm Caddo. proud to be Caddo. My mother and my dad's back there, Farley and Arnita Peabody. My grandson's back there with my wife. So I want to say I appreciate my Caddo family. I couldn't do this in the last 30 years without my family and some of my family up here. Bobby, I like giving you grief. Trust me, we got another 30 years to work on this for our native people to get them where they need to get.
All right, can we have a round of applause? All right, we have one more person that wants to say something. We're going to ask someone to pray for this food, okay?
I just want to say thank you, Travis. I thank the tribe as well. Not only did I have my son graduate from, who is also a tribal member, graduate from the truck driving school, but a week before I had another son graduate with a degree in psychology
Oh,
from
shut
Grand
up.
Canyon State University. And so within a week, we had 2 Caddo members accomplish something that they've worked really hard on. And I know my son that is working towards his doctorate in psychology. I know that he would love to come and service people. And their lives are better for the opportunities that were given to them. Their families' lives are better because of Travis, Eric. Hey. But thank you for everything that you guys do. Appreciate it.
We have someone that'd like to say something.
And I won't take very long, but I just wanted to tell you that I was in Texas a couple of weeks ago. My daughter, Kirsten, is down there, and she asked me to come down because the University of Texas at Arlington, they were going to do kind of a land reclamation memorial. And wouldn't you know, every place I go, those dad blasted Wichitas are there. Well, I got down there and they were going to honor the Wichitas because that was their homeland. Well, it's our homeland. That's where we were. Texas is a Caddo word. If it wasn't for us, they wouldn't even be called Texas. And I know they're called other things now too, but anyway. And I wanted to tell you while I was there, I wanted to tell you how well represented we are. There were 3 of us. There was my daughter, Kirsten, there was me, and there was Diane Parton. The man who heads up the anthropology department, the professor down there, has been a friend of ours for years. He was a very good friend of my husband's. And so he asked if someone would speak on behalf of the Caddos, because I kept telling him, this is Caddo land. This is Caddo land. So finally, he asked Diane Parton if she would speak for the Caddos. She did an exceptional job. It was wonderful. I was almost in tears when she finished. It was so great. When she finished her talk, there were, at least 100 people there, and she got a standing ovation. I was so proud of her. And Kirsten and Diane are very active in the Indian community down there. They sit on boards. They take part in their activities. And I am so glad that we are represented. We are represented. After Diane spoke, the mayor of Arlington, Texas, got up to talk. And he said, that is a tough act to follow. He said, I don't know how I can ever say enough about the Caddos. I can tell you one thing, the Caddos won't be forgotten the next time because our girls made such an impression on everyone down there. And I just wanted to let you know what different Caddos are doing for us, how they're keeping us alive.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. Just now on the thing? What's that? Oh, there's a question to Diane Parton, I believe, that the event, the event in Texas that Francis was talking about, was it recorded? Did anybody record that? Well, maybe if it's recorded, Diane, you have my email address. Maybe you can email it to me or something, and maybe we can put it on our website or put a clip of it. Okay. All right. All right. So we have some food. And does anyone have any last minute thing to say? And here's. Yeah. That's something else. People's been asking if we can go fishing. Yeah, that's a whole other ball game. So just so that everybody know, the gate is open on WCD lands. That David Nolt has opened the gate. You can go in and out as long as you don't, you dummy the lock. And we're going to have 50 keys, and we're trying to figure out a way to get into the lake. But it's all safety. If we can figure out the safety part of it, who's going in and out, then they can start maybe going fishing at our new lake in Hinton, Oklahoma on I-40. Okay. All right. With that said, man, I tell you what, there ain't very many people to pick on anymore. All right. So we have some food and water. Rose, are you inside the kitchen? Nawi. All right. We're going to conclude our meeting. I want to thank everyone for being here. Again, if you think we're not listening, we are. If you think we're not doing something, we are. And if you really have concerns and you want to hear, or if you want to see what we're doing, just come on by. If we're not here, we'll have someone help you. And if we can't get together, then we will find you or call me. I'll do what I can to call you back. And if I don't call you back right then, I will eventually get to you. And if I don't, you guys know where I'm at. Y'all find me, I'm sure. But I'm glad everyone's here. So Rose, appreciate you taking the time out and fixing a meal. And we're going to eat together, and so yes, but someone has to make a motion to adjourn. And then someone has to second it, then we all have to vote on it. Okay, does anybody make the motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn. Second by Eric. All in favor, say aye. Those on the line say Hoey or put it in the chat or something. We good? We're counting. Okay, we got 21. And then we got the rest online. So we're good? Are we okay? Okay, we're all good. All right, meeting's adjourned. And so say a little prayer for the food. We're going to eat. We're going to drink some water and grab some food. Y'all just bear with me for a moment. And Jennifer, okay. I'm gonna pray for that food for a second because I didn't include it in our prayer earlier. I could have done that. All right, just bear with me for a second. Pray for this food. Hoya Ahayo. Da Kanotsiwa Ahayo. Sitha. Deba. Look at us. Hanam. Ditti Dawina, Tiki Dawina, Kwana Dawina. Sakwa Heaso, the way the sun came out.
Kunadiska, kunadisto, kunahakura, kunahatido, Ohio. Look down upon us, watch over us, be with us in these directions. Take care of our folks again. Take care of this food. God, you can take care of it to where they can nourish our bodies. Maybe there's something not right with our body, our mind, our spirit, or something that's not just right in our health. This food, the way it was prepared, the mind that prepared it, the hands that prepared it, you to bless our cook and the thought that went into this food so that when we leave, it can nourish us and help us because it's not everyday food. Our members gathered today and we said a prayer to you, and we're not perfect, but we ask that you take care of it for us and guide us and protect us. And we put you first in our life, that all these things that we talked about today, that you can take care of in your time, in your way, the way that you want it done. And we're just going to follow you and ask that you look down upon this food again, this water. Take care of our elders that are in here, from the oldest to the youngest elder that's in here. God, to be with them, their families, their loved ones, and all our people from the youngest to the oldest. You can be with them today, and all our neighboring tribes. And I ask you to bless my own children, my grandchildren to come, and those that I'm not going to see, that they can always have this water here and food here, and our people here can be with them when they come into this world, along with everyone else. Through your son, Jesus Christ, I pray. If I left anything out, I ask you to take care of it. Amen.